ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। Page 95, shloka number 37. एवं निरन्तराभ्यस्ता ब्रह्मैवास्मीति वासना हरत्यविद्याविक्षेपान् रोगानिव rasāyanam। Very happy, blessed Guru Purnima to everyone. May we appreciate the blessings of the presence of Guru in our lives and the Shastra Vichara that is a possibility because of that Guru Maharaj's presence, and the possibility that we can gain that supreme in this very life, and may our efforts be turned towards that and that alone, for the purpose of that Guru Maharaj in our life is nothing other than that one purpose. May we attain, may we establish, and may we bask in that glory. Happy Guru Purnima ki. Evaṃ nirantarābhyastā brahmaivāsmīti iti vāsanā haratyavidyāvikṣepān rogāniva rasāyanam. Evaṃ nirantarābhyastā. Thus, one should continuously be up to this practice of nididhyasana, without breaking, without stopping. More so because we do not have the opportunity to really practice vanaprastha in our lives. See, when we have withdrawn consciously away from the field of activity, then the field of my world reduces significantly. Thereby, the I attached to the my to work on it becomes the least. But then we have made a choice of retirement but not vanaprastha. Why am I harping on Vanaprastha? Because above average of everyone sitting here is towards that, or already in that. Nirantarābhyastā. What does abhyasa mean? Repetitive practice consistently, without stopping. And for this abhyasa to be a continuous practice, as much as there is a sincerity and the effort required towards that particular direction, it should not be considered as a restriction that when we are walking, talking, working, the standpoint and platform from which we work should be compromised. See, when a person is consumed with, say, revenge, when I say consumed, how much passionately they get into that revenge mode. Working, thinking, sleeping, everything is for that one unilateral purpose. Isn't it? When somebody is in love, hi. सोते भी प्यार कहो, जगते भी प्यार कहो, जग पूरा प्यार प्यार प्यार. How passionately we are consumed by it. The reason I take these two examples specifically is both of which we must have experienced. And very passionately, very consumedly we must have been engaged in it. When in love, when in revenge, not revenge about love, two separate topics. Did we sit down and do some tīvra abhyasa of aham revenjasvarupaha asmi? No. But that one thought consumed our entire being. If that could have been a possibility with ease, why is this not a possibility? Don't tell me that this is difficult. If that was not difficult, how can this be difficult? As much as we chose to be in that mode of operation, what stops us from being in this mode and we make that choice? I am not making something new as a statement. After writing the entire Ramcharitmanas, Goswami Tulsidas ji takes this example. Like a kami is consumed by his kama and sees nothing but kama. What is stopping us to be consumed by this abhyasa? It's all that the switching of gear, instead of functioning from the deha tadatmya, mano tadatmya, buddhi tadatmya, we operate from this higher or the highest. That aham asmi brahman, aham brahmasmi. And it is just switching the perspective. And if we say it is difficult, it is because we are not ready to commit ourselves to it. Nothing other seems to be the reason. And we lack that commitment because the clarity is wobbling. Meaning either the Shravana is wobbling or the Manana after that is wobbling. Therefore we are consumed by our doubts consistently. वो सब ठीक है, पर ये जब पर के पर निकलते हैं ना, वास्तविकता से उतनी ही दूर रहते हैं हम लोग. We are that far away from truth. So to understand and grasp that which we are understanding and fully be committed to that understanding with clarity, then it becomes a natural disposition to function from that highest platform. Nothing of the outside needs to be touched, amended, or changed. However be the outside world, chaotic, fighting like dogs and cats, कुछ भी चलता रहे. Your standpoint of where you are, why should it change? When you are convinced from within, because you have that clarity. And the clarity is unshaken because there are no more doubts. My grandfather's wisdom was a little village rustic but very pragmatic. He used to say, చెట్టెక్కే వాడికి చేతి అందినంత వరకే సహాయం. For somebody who wants to climb a tall tree, how much can you support? How much can the system of Guru and Shastra support? As much as is the possibility of the length of the hand. And this support is not कानून. क्यों? कानून के लंबे हाथ होते हैं. This is limited. You can only push so far. After that, it has to be our commitment and our effort. You have been coming, attending, practicing, listening for what? A minimum of 10, 12, 15 years? The same Vedanta? Has any speaker ever spoken, has any text ever indicated anything other than these three elements? What does it take to get that clarity? See, if the speakers or the scriptures have been talking something erroneously different every single time, I can understand that. या तो शास्त्र में कुछ गड़बड़ है या बोलने वाले में कुछ गड़बड़ है. When you stand as the proof. Many of us started with Puja Gurudev. We have practically seen the entire Guru Parampara so far. We have seen Puja Gurudev, we have seen Puja Guruji, we have seen Puja Swarupananji. So many other Swamins, Brahmacharins. When I say Swamin and Brahmacharin, it includes Swamini and Brahmacharini also. Gender equality. Yeah. Have they spoken anything different? That which you see is a projected reality. You are the substratum onto which it is projected. You are that Brahman. तीन ही तो point है. क्या confusing है इसमें? Is there anything other than that? And each one of these pointers is being substantiated voluminously. We refuse to believe that we are anything other than this body, mind and intellect. As I said, par ke par nikalte hain. All that is true and okay, Swamiji, but there is no ambiguity in this. Sadhana is not difficult. It is me, the sadhaka, who is difficult. Sadhya vastu is simple, the intimate, the only reality. There is nothing other than that reality. It's obvious, it is clear, it is spashta. It is not just logically substantiated, our own experiences also substantiate to it. When I say that I have headache, simple day-to-day experience, that means I am something other than the head which has a ache. Isn't our own vocabulary proving that? Isn't our own experience proving that? But then we translate it to that anubhava wherein we end up saying, I am pain. I have a head which has an ache. Do what is necessary. Done. We are not saying that head is mithya, therefore don't take medicine. Medicine also is mithya, take. किसी ने रोका है? Now what is the confusion then? Therefore the abhyasa should be always from that highest standpoint. Not a single moment of slipping down to any ulterior levels. That in Shastra Vichara, when we slip down in spite of knowing, is called papacharanam. That because that is the most erroneous thing that we can ever be consumed with. That is an aberration to exist in spite of knowing. తెలియక తప్పు చేసేవాడికి తెలిసి తప్పు చేసేవాడికి తేడా ఏంటి? The one who has not known, you can at least have some compassion. Poor fellow did not know. अगर गुरुदेव के टाइम से सुन रहे हैं, at least since 93, meaning this is 2025. Even if you have heard the last lecture, in the first week of May, when he was here with his failing health in 93. Even if that was the last lecture, from then up till now, how many years have passed? 33 years have passed. वही तो सुन रहे हैं ना बाबा. I think we all have commitment issues. What is mithya? In spite of hearing all of this for last 33 years, we are committed to everything other than this. Therefore, this abhyasa has to be intensified. Nirantara. Antara, gap. Nirantara, without gap. It is not something to be timed on a scheduler wherein my meditation, my nididhyasana is done. So if it is like 15-20 minutes of unwinding, we take the revenge of it by going back into the world and winding it up 100 times stronger. Do you see where we are going wrong? But that cannot be avoided, na Swamiji, the field of work, field of action. Take this platform of understanding into that working field. You don't need to adjust, rewire the entire world. Just rewire and adjust the perspective with which you are functioning. Aham brahma eva asmi iti. And the word that is used here is, that is also vāsanā. That vāsanā has to be created. Our entire Hindu philosophy, and don't you dare compare it with other religions and say that all religions are same. Which religion teaches you this? It's only in our Hindu Shastra, Hindu Dharma, where which is clearly saying that every single process that is being given, don't brush it aside saying, oh, these are all rituals. There is this vikara to be identified with the limitations and to exist and be sustained as a limitation. That is called vikara. To remove this vikara are all the different steps which are called samskara. I love that word samskara, only the word. Why? Because its purpose is to remove some or the other skara. The skara called vikara. Now, as much as vikara is to be removed, once the samskara is invoked and the vikara is washed away, along with it the samskara also has to be washed away. But we assume that holding on to that samskara is called spirituality. Let that second point get in. As much as a stain on the cloth is a blemish, you apply sabun, and to remove that you require water wherein it removes both the stain and the soap. That is when the cloth is purified. Samskara vikara vihinaha shuddha tattvaha. You cannot say that anyway it has to be washed away, why should I invoke it? No, one has to create that samskara to remove the vikara. And after its application, both of it has to be washed away. Therefore, the intensity of application of this samskara called the Brahma Tattva Vāsanā has to be nirantara, without a gap, applied continuously. Whether you are driving, whether you are working, whether you are whatever thought, word, deed happening, from the platform of being the one that is enabling it. I am the one because of whose presence this can happen. The happenings are the interaction between gunas to the gunas. Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. Tāna kritsna vido mandan kritsna vidna vichalayit. Therefore, mayi sarvani karmani vidvan yuktas samacharet. There in Shankara Bhashya he says mayi means this Shuddha Brahma Tattva. Into that let everything be resolved. Everything be dissolved. Therefore, when we even eat, what is the mantra that we chant, shloka that we chant? We memorized. उसमें कोई लोची नहीं है. ब्रह्मार्पणम भी बोलेंगे, पूर्णमद भी बोलेंगे. क्या बोल क्या रहा है वो? I am glad you remembered the correct shloka. I appreciate that. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmana Hutam. What is the last part? Brahmana Hutam. It is from that platform of Brahman that all these activities perceived. Nothing less than that. Then you stand above all the chaos and be able to handle, or rather you would see it being handled. So what does this standpoint of abhyasa do? It goes to the root cause, and the root cause is avidya. I am agitated, I am irritated, I am frustrated, I am. All this vikshepa. The root cause is avidya. Instead of removing the root cause, we do a stopgap band-aid facilitation. We shouldn't complain if the government does not take care of the roads, because that is a representation of samashti, because the vyashti is like that. Because our application is also stopgap band-aid facilitation only. रोड ठीक नहीं करना है, पॉट होल्स ठीक करना है बस. द रूट कॉज इज डिफरेंट. व्हाट डू वी डू? All psychological applications, self-love, self-care. लगे रहो मैनिक्योर पेडिक्योर में. Now what have we brought spirituality down to? That is not what self-love means when the Vedanta says you are the very nature of love. But what we are doing is picking the agitations and trying to find stopgap solutions for as though having taken care of it. It will again come back. Again frustratingly, again try to handle that. All of these agitations are springing out from the eternal source called avidya. Avidya is the ignorance of my true nature, which is of the nature of Satchidananda. Not avidya of chemistry, math, business, management and manipulation. No. avidya of my true nature. And the only way to delete that, vajram vajrena patayet. The diamond is cut with another diamond. So there is this strong vāsanā which is enabling us to be attached with this limitation. Therefore, to remove that, you need a stronger vāsanā to remove that. How difficult is that to grasp? And it is not like a humongous effort of trying to pull a big boulder. There is no kaya kashta there. There is only a change of perspective, change of vision. Therefore, the abhyasa should be constantly watch, where am I functioning from? Am I functioning as the limitation, or am I functioning from the delimited, ever full standpoint? Rogāniva rasāyanam. Like when there is roga, you provide medicine. And for specific roga, there is specific medicine. If there is headache, क्या लेते हैं अभी? पैरासिटामोल, सैरिडॉन नहीं, वो हो गया. Okay, so whatever you take. For pain there is one kind of medication. For allergies there is one kind of medication. Find the appropriate medicine. Or if this doesn't suit you, there are those little white pills. Sampati. You cannot be apathetic. You have to cater to it. Again, in that also, take the medicine, fill it, shut it, forget it, move on. Ayyo talanoppi, ayyo talanoppi. You have it and you provide it to everyone also. Giving more than what we take, producing more than what we can consume. We have changed the meaning of Gurudev's glorious words. Because I can give the world only that which I have in plenty. Confusionaha asmi, confusion eva producyami. Dukkha swarupaha dukkham eva givami. Agitated o bhutva, agitation eva givami. Therefore, whether it is in Upanishads, Viveka Chudamani, Ramayana, Mahabharata, wherever the reference is, Brahma Tattvamasi Bhāvayatmani. That you are that and nothing less than that. Therefore, start functioning from that. Create that vāsanā. Before you answer, when somebody asks, who are you? Remind yourself, I am Brahman, but for you, I am this. रिश्ते में तो हम ब्राह्मण हैं, पर तुम्हारे लिए तो whatever works to remind you of that, keep insisting that. Brahma tattvamasi bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ. Continuing. So for that vāsanā to be created, what should we do? Viviktadeśa āsīnaḥ virāgo vijitendriyaḥ bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ tamanantamananyadhīḥ. viviktadeśa āsīnaḥ. It comes in 13th chapter, it comes in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Viviktadeśa sevitvam aratirjana samsadi. Wherever there is a congregation, samsad, avoid it. Find a secluded, safe place. Vivikta, a secluded place. Āsīnaḥ, comfortably sit down. It can be in your balcony, it can be in front of your altar, it can be the terrace, it can be wherever you find that secluded spot. And there, virāgah vijitendriyaḥ, sarvadharman parityajya. We know the shloka. मेमोरी में कोई रुचि नहीं है. सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य माम एकम शरणम व्रज. सर्वान अन्यान धर्मान परित्यज्य. All other assumed identities, drop it. On the seat of meditation, you are not Sarvesh, Mahesh, Ramesh, Kamesh, nothing. You are not brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi. In fact, you are not even a man or a woman. You are not therefore a husband or a wife or a child or any relation. Don't sit as somebody. Drop all the masks. Remove all the coverings. To indicate that Bhagavan had to do the Chiraharana. All the covering layers, drop it. And then sit on the seat of meditation. Virāgah vijitendriyaḥ. Withdraw all the sensory perceptions, meaning without getting distracted by Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. Sit on the seat of meditation. Bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ. Now, inculcate the bhavana of that Atma Tattva. Layer by layer. Sthula, Sukshma, Karana. Not me, not me. And it is not just for singing purpose. And then swing to that singing to feel good factor. Get out of that cushy comfort zone. Manobudhyahankara chittanināham. No, don't get lost in the music. That is not the purpose. Don't get lost into the soothingness of it. That is again mind manipulation. What is the gravity of those words? Each one of these layers, I am not. That because of who I am recognizing that these are not, that is me. In this, what are the steps? First is jitāsana. Sit in a comfortable posture and not shavasana, that is the most comfortable posture. अरे सोचो, बैठे बैठे सो जाते हैं, तब सोते सोते what should be the principle? The principle in jitāsana is TSA is directly proportional to lethargy. Total surface area of our body in touch with anything. Least minimum but yet comfortable. Wherein your head, neck, back is always in a straight line. Relaxed shoulders, close your eyes so that the outside ambient light doesn't disturb you. Regulate your breathing. It is usually chaotic, is usually unrhythmic. Put it to a rhythm. Put it to a slow inhalation and exhalation. Regulate it. Mind will slow down. But all of this is possible only when jitāsana. If every 2 minutes once you are, yes, you will have a very rocking meditation, not a stabilized meditation. Jitāsana, jitashvasa. After jitāsana, jitashvasa, regulate it. Jita sattva. Sattva here means that which is made of sattvic elements, which is antakarana. Even if after the jitashvasa there are trickling thoughts, don't rush in to try see what the content is. Just recognize there is a movement. I am not that movement. The moment you consciously disconnect from it in your observation, it may have a trickling effect because of the momentum, but it will die. Don't try to evaluate what that thought is, what that content is, whether it is good, bad, no branding, no evaluation required. It is a movement. No movement. If in that position there is gushing of thoughts, then regulate even the thought with the self-disciplined thought called mantra japa. As that mantra leans into, dissolves into that silence is where you have to focus upon. Come to that point, and there contemplate on what this Atma Chaitanya Tattva is, what this Brahma Tattva is. Two aspects to it. One, that which you are not. You are already working on it as you sit on that seat of meditation, because those are the layers that you have to drop. Because you have not to continue or sit as something. That becomes a becoming. And the second aspect, that which I am. So it all boils down to one thought retention. Japa is one thought repetition. Here it is one thought retention. Aham asmi. I am. A sudden movement of any kind of thought, or again, observe it, come back to that silence, get back to that one thought retention. Aham asmi. And when I say thought retention, it is not aham asmi, aham asmi, aham asmi repetition. I am trying to make that distinction. It is not a thought repetition. Whichever is the movement that is distracting you, identify as to what kind of vikara is it. One sure shot application for anything, that is anitya. I am nitya. Everything else can be brushed aside. One stroke for everything. They are anitya, I am nitya vastu. They are ashuddha, I am shuddha vastu. They are limited, I am not limited. I am not baddha, I am buddha. Nitya shuddha buddha mukta swarupaha hamasmi. No other attributes. Nirantara Atmabhyasam bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ tam anantam ananyadhīḥ. Here, Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in several places, he uses a very, very, very strong word. Wherever there is anyadhi, buddhi, which is getting associated with anything other than this Atma Tattva, he calls that vyabhichara. We are all aware of the word vyabhichara. What strong word is he using? Avyabhicharinya. There should be no anya thought entertained, anya bhava entertained. Bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ. I am that ananta. Any movement, any limitation, anything that is happening, that is antavanta. It expires. With every expiration, you don't need to do Om Trambakam Yajamahe. It is bound to happen. Good riddance. Done. I am that which is Ananta. Bhavayet ananyadhīḥ. And where is this whole exercise happening of this vāsanā of ekabhava retention? In Vedanta Panchadashi, he uses the word ektanata. When the musicians with their elaborate accompaniments, with a range of Shruti, with the modulations of Gamakas in between. They go up and down. But when they come back, there is that ekatana. What do you call it? Tanpura? Shruti box, Tanpura. You come back to that. Ekatanata. This should be that Ekatanata. Wherever it goes, Jalapakshivat Rodha Sadhanam. Where does this come? Upadesha Sara. Like a bird which is tied, its one leg is tied to a branch, it will go around. But then where does it come back? To that platform. Anchor this mind to this intellect to this bhava. Intensify this sadhana. When I say intensify, it is more about the quality of this sadhana and not the quantity of sadhana. And in that intensity, merge everything, resolve everything, dissolve everything into it. Once this intensifies, then when I step out into the world, wherever I am working, wherever I am interacting, recognizing, responding to that particular situation, react not. Only response. Evaluated is a response. Unevaluated is a reaction. Probably, I am just extending too much here, I am aware of it. The ability to responsibility. But from what standpoint? Not that I am Sarveshananda, not that I am a sannyasi, not that I am a male or a female or this or that. No, I am this Brahma Tattva which is functioning, responding to that situation. And when it comes with this much of awareness, I don't have to remind myself that I have to live a value-based life, a ethical life, a moral life. When consciously done, it can happen only in that way, effortlessly. Therefore, when we abide in this Swadharma is not just ability to fulfill your responsibilities. What does that word responsibility, Swadharma, there mean? Swasya nija sthiti. Functioning from there, it becomes Swadharma. Functioning as Jiva, it is not Swadharma anymore. Paradharme bhayavahaha. It causes all kinds of fears and agitations. So from this Swadharma, Swasya Dharma, Nijasthitihi, and when I say Nijasthitihi, it is not some difficult position to be. It is your normal state of being, actual state of being. It is your NTP and STP. Normal temperature and pressure, standard temperature and pressure. That is where you function from. In that position, functioning from that position, you are not causing any kind of friction with others, nor any others can cause any kind of friction unto you. Now from this standpoint, try understanding all the things that have been indicated in the second chapter as Sthita Prajna Lakshana. Samatvam becomes your way of life. I am not talking about equality or equity. I am talking about equanimous mindset of functioning. गेम बदल जाता है. It's so much more joyous, tension-free, blissful platform to function from. Anything which is not swadharma, anything is that which is not the dharma, adharma, it is no more blissful. It is blisterful. That is called ananyadhi, and functioning from that ananyadhi. We'll stop here. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaः, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांतिः. हरिः ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम.